What is up, BBT? It is Friday. Happy Friday. I'm going to take you through a trade on the stock trading simulator on JWN. And JWN had earnings previously this week. And what's interesting about it is they had earnings, and in the pre-market, they're pushing up against a higher time frame level. So I want to see how this reacts at the open because we're sitting right near that. And let me show you where I'm getting that level from. So on the higher time frame on the daily, we see this situation here, right, where we've got kind of this set up happening where we see this area as support, breaks support, tries to get back above it, we have resistance, tries again, breaks through, and then we kind of chop around here, comes back down, loses support here, and now we're in this area down here. So let me just move this over so you can see kind of where we're at now. So like I said, the 25 level here is that basically that like slice through on the chart that becomes support and resistance over the past weeks or months. And so now we're in this area down here. But since they had earnings and it was positive news, I'll scroll out on this chart here, maybe put it to the 2 minutes so you can have a better understanding. So we are gapping up in the pre-market. So previous day close was down here, and we're gapping up here above this higher time frame level, which is 25. So, it's a pretty good sized gap up, and we're above it, but as we're getting closer to the open, we're below it. So, I'm definitely interested to see what happens at this level. And I'm going to use the time and sales on this to show you how you can kind of follow to see if you should take it as a long position at this level or a short position. Things that have catalysts like this can move very quickly. So they don't always offer a pullback entry. So sometimes you have to take it like right as it busts through a level. And the best way to do that without waiting for a candle is to see what's happening up here on the time and sales. So let's talk through that. And let me get this over here to we'll do this to the 5 minute. And just zoom in a little bit. And then we'll put this on the 1 because, we're right at this level. So the level is 25. So we're really close to it. So I'm going to put it on the 1 minute, and I'm going to hit go here on the tape. So I want to be watching the top of it here, right? So as the orders are coming through, I'm looking here, and let's hit go. So as I'm watching this, I see, and I'm going to pause this a few times so you can understand what I'm seeing. So I still see it push it below 25. And I'm looking over here a little bit, but I'm mostly watching the time and sales. So like I do see volume, I do see a wick, but I really want to see it claim that 25 level on the tape. So give it a second here. So now it's pushing back below it. And every time it pushes down, it does get bought back up around 75, 80. We're like in this area, so it gets pushed down off of 25 and someone, buys it up here. So, we have decent volume coming in. We're up above like 700,000 shares, and let's hit go. Still pushing below, pushing back above. There's definitely a battle going on. Okay, so I saw it push a little bit above 25 here on the tape, but it got pushed right back down. So I'm wondering if we're going to be able to hold this level. Again, it's a higher time frame level, so it's a very important level, and I just want to see it either get lost or claimed. So it's pushing down. I'm watching the tape. It's pushing underneath, but it's still holding this 80-ish area. Okay, it pushed above it, but it got bought right back down. All right, now I see some big orders coming through here, bigger than, the other ones. So we've got, 2,000, almost 3,000, and it's coming through at 25 and above 25. So let's play on this. And there we go. I see it push, right? So it was struggling. It was struggling at 25. I saw those big orders go through at 25. And when those big orders went through at 25, we pushed through 25. So those big orders that went through at 25 didn't bring the stock down. It brought the stock up. And so we want to ride the momentum into this, and we've broken through this level now. So what we can do is right as you see that happen, you can enter the trade, and with your stop, You can do it below the 1 minute candle. You could do 10% of the ATR. I like to do 10% of the ATR. So in this case, JWN usually runs like $1.50 or so. So the 10% of the ATR on this would be about 15 cents, which had I entered, right as it broke, would, put my stop just below 25. And because it is a whole dollar number, you can also just plan to put your stop below the whole dollar number, or whatever number is showing resistance or support depending on which direction you're going. So 25 was resistance here at the open, and 24.80ish was support on the tape. And so as we push through 25 and we break that resistance, now I want my stop to be probably below $25, because we've broken through it and we should hold at that point. If we don't, I want to be out of the trade and let it just do its thing and get going again. So I'm gonna hit play here, and I'm gonna buy into this. So my stop will be below 25. We're still climbing. We're climbing, and now we're definitely in this, right? So we see the orders, right? They're just climbing. 42. We're hanging out at 30. 25.50, we're trying it for 50, breaking through 50. Half dollars are good places to take partials depending on how the stock responds at these areas. So we're still pushing through 50. I don't even want to take a partial yet because we haven't actually really lost it. So I'm just watching. Okay, I would take a partial. And of course it'll probably just be a pullback, but that's fine. Better safe than sorry. All right. It offered a pullback. It offered a pullback where, maybe if you wanted to add or get another entry on this, you could. For me, that's not my risk tolerance. I want it to be like closer to a level. So we'll just keep watching this. And now we're busting through 50. You could add on the breakthrough 50 if it was showing a little bit of resistance there previously. Again, same scenario, breaks through that number. You could add into it, especially at a whole and half dollar. So we're still climbing here. And if I take it over here, let's just pause and see what kind of resistance this would show us. So we're on the 60. I like to look at the higher time frames to see if there's anything on the higher time frames that might offer resistance. I don't see anything on the 60 right away. I see here on the daily, if it'll go that far. Again, the ATR on this is like $1.50. So, we've almost moved at 26. We'll basically have moved that full ATR for the day. So I definitely want to take a partial at 26, just in case it only moves one ATR. And then my next partial would be somewhere, up here. This might actually be 26. Let me put my little cursor over it. Yeah, so definitely 26. If it busts through here, then I would be looking for, maybe something closer to 29. I don't know if it'll get that far, but after that point, after playing the full ATRs, if you don't have like a specific range that you see, you could also look for just whole and half dollars along the way, or anywhere that you see the tape show resistance. So we'll just hit play, and I'm just gonna speed it up a tiny bit here, pause it. So we got through 26. We'll just take that a little bit off here. Oops, I gotta hit play so I can sell a little bit. Sell a little bit around 26, and then let it kind of just do its thing. So now at this point my stop would be at break even, and we'll just see how it reacts the rest of the way. Let's speed it up a little bit. All right, so here's also, we've bounced off VWAP here. So after this pullback, a lot of the times when stocks are really strong in the morning, they will offer a pullback to VWAP, especially if it's a good news catalyst. They'll offer a pullback to VWAP, and then you can sometimes get an entry off of there or an add off of there. Same thing with the other direction. If stock is really weak in the morning, sometimes you can get a pullback to VWAP for a continuation. Those, again, aren't really my places to add. I really like just levels. But if this is, if VWAP is your style, you could definitely add here. I would definitely be watching the price action to see how it responded around this level. But yeah, and then you just, ride it, Sally. We'll just see how this does. And then, this is a lot of chop, right? So at this point, you could probably just get out of the trade. But if you felt pretty good being in it, we'll move to the 2 minute, move to the 5 over here. If you felt decent being in this still, your stop is pretty far away. you could hang out here if you felt like it. If you didn't mind having your capital, tied up. Let's just, for the sake of speeding things along. All right, so after this area where it got stuck and bounced off VWAP, like I said, so it's strong at the open, pushes through a very strong higher time frame level, pulls back to VWAP, strong news catalyst still, pushes off of that, and you continue to get a move up. So, you could go something like this. Once it breaks, high a day, you could add in, John's high a day break to here. There's a lot of different strategies you can play off of this, and I really like JWN earlier in the week for the sake of that. So if you're someone that plays range levels, higher time frame range levels, you have an entry down here. If you're someone that plays high day breaks, you have an entry up here. If you're someone that plays pullbacks to VWAP for a trade, you have an entry here. Lots of good setups on this one for the day. And again, utilizing the tape when you're at a level to see if it's able to claim it and break that resistance. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer them, and have a fantastic weekend. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.